Journal entry, 14th of the month of March, in the year of our Lord, 1078. In good faith, we had accepted a contract from Duke Magnus of Angria, Marshal to Kaiser Heinrich IV himself, to bring peace to his lands by dealing with banditry and other dangers to the common folk. The amount of gold he promised was vast, which should have roused my suspicion. Alas, we accepted the contract, only to find that the people of the land were impoverished and oppressed, mercilessly pressed for taxes by their lords, with little to nothing in return. We turned about in disgust, yet the Marshal had the gall to reprimand us for forfeiture of contract, yet such contract, signed under false pretenses, must be considered null and void by any man of moral standing. Seeing the wrath of the callous Marshal, and not knowing how deep and far the corruption has gone, we had hidden ourselves in the forests to throw off any pursuers, and are now making our way back to France. My belief in the nobility of kings, however, has been shaken. Is nothing sacred in this world? What would the code chivalrous demand of a knight in service of his master, when shown the rot that grows within? Must a knight not follow his vows, and defend the helpless and downtrodden, even if it be to pit him against those he serves? I shall ponder those questions as we travel ever west. Some contracts were offered for transport in the area, but none of them was bringing us west. They would all have sent us east, so instead we are cutting our ties and making our way. Although there is an artifact delivery contract that just came up. Can't take it right now, but they would pay very well. So we've heard rumors that the Duke Conrad of Luxembourg is in need of such a service. So let us abort our travel for now, and see if we can see where he needs us to move. We have reached the city of Bastogne, and we're almost at the French border, so let's see what the Duke wants, because 233 gold is certainly, and 450 prestige is a very, very tempting offer indeed. So let's see where he wants us to go. We have to bring it to the Barony of Voligost, which is, of course, once again east. So unfortunately, it is the opposite direction of where we want to go. However, we are still going to have to build up our number of knights, because right now only Radomir really, and to a degree Richard, are the ones who are somewhat capable, and at the lower end, not quite so much. So we still need at least 3 more knights in our group that are very proficient in using a blade. And for that, well, we may as well, we could move the whole camp there, but then we're sort of halfway across again. However, we might be able to take maybe a sea route from there, going back, and then land in France to avoid traveling through the Holy Roman Empire more than once. It is a very tempting offer, and you do not easily neglect or reject an offer like that. So especially for the amount that they're paying. So we will once again head east then, and we shall make our way as safely as we possibly can through the lands and bring it up north. And then probably we'll skirt the northern coast and make our way back to France, where we originally wanted to be. So let's avoid the forest of Lüchow, and that will in general, and we can maybe, no, this is a fording, so there's no way we can avoid this forest as well. But all in all, it looks like an extremely safe route. So I will take that, and we shall be starting to travel once again in the wrong direction, but potentially, and yes, we're carrying the artifact, obviously, the rough gemstone. We shall not equip it because it is not ours, but we will make our way. Eastwards, and hope that we don't run afoul of any locals. As we trudge down the road, a building hovers into view. The battered sign outside read, "The King's Arms, Inn." No luck here tonight, we've got barely room for our current lodgers, let anyone else new. Inside, the innkeeper shakes his head dismissively, and especially not you ragtag types. Excuse me, ragtag? We could do a diplomacy challenge, or we could just take the stress. No, I'll take the challenge, because we could get a small health boost for 10 years. I'll take that. Let's see if we can come to an arrangement and if gold can change his mind. Nope, he won't budge. Okay, so be it. Then we shall move without that. There is another contract, but we're not interested at this point. We are already on a quest that brings us ever more east. And there are actually at some point we might have to build up some troops as well, especially that if we are in danger from the locals. So let's see how that goes. Teeming with all manner of wildlife, Radomir and I agree that Hanover would be a splendid place to go on a hunt. While we don't have time to stay for a proper outing, as we traverse the area, I spot a pristine wild rabbit at the edge of the forest. It has peculiar markings on its furs, and I motion to Radomir to survey the animal. As he spots the rabbit, he grins. What would you say to a friendly wager, leader? Whoever strikes that pristine fellow with an arrow wins. Sounds like a deal to me. Prowess challenge against Radomir. Good luck, Radomir. But we have gained the trinket. This was fun. Radomir joins the cheers and says, "Nice shot." Okay, that gave us 50 coin. What a wager, really. And we got the Lucky Rabbit's Paw, which I believe we can, yes, +2 prowess. I'll take it. So that was a nice little distraction, and we didn't even have to pay the local lord for hunting rights. Of course, we didn't tell anybody about it. We could use our requests with the local leaders for a regiment of men of arms, and this would, whatever they have available, would lead these to us. But not yet. We still have to collect our knights, and we still don't have the right level of renown yet that I feel that this is something we could do. All right, Duke Krotoj of Venetia, we have done that, and we have gained 450 prestige from this. So that's a major step forward in our level of fame. Obviously, if we are doing these kind of things, and we could ask some acquaintances, but I think we're good here all in all. There are, now that we have arrived, let us have a brief look at the local castle holding, and see if we can find anybody. Do we still need Blade Master experience? Yes, we do. So let's train with Thierry, and that was again inefficient. But let's see if there's anybody in the garrison who knows how to hold the blade. Not really, and definitely not. Okay, let's head back and look at the tavern where Hedwig is telling stories. We could get intrigue, or we lose some stress. I think we'll lose some stress because we have built some up. And let's see if there's anybody here who would be interesting for us. A very intrigued, deceitful person. Definitely not going there. So we'll leave that be. But maybe we can get some supplies since we're here from the local vendor. Let's see if we can convince her. Nope, she does not fool by our logic. That is fine. We have enough supplies at this point. Let's head back. And there are a few contracts around here. Since we are here, that by the local dukes that might actually pay reasonably well. A stewardship scheme. This is something we should be reasonably qualified at. So that would be something that would pay 450 prestige as well. And the other one would be a legitimacy scheme, but yeah, that we don't really need legitimacy. But I think I'm interested in raising this building, so this is something we might actually travel to accept. And we again customize our route to avoid the forests. And this is a contract in Brenna, so we'll take actually, that's the return journey, and we'll take the safer route rather than going through the forest, even though it takes a little longer. So let's head there and raise a building for once again growing our fame. Okay, I've had to rearrange and make sure that Thibault is in charge of planning, because that significantly reduces the amount of time that we have to spend here in the barony of Brenna. I don't think we're being unreasonable, snarks the cook, who presumably drew the short straw on coming to speak to me, waving an arm dismissively at the surrounding terrain all the while. There's plenty of farms here, even if if they're not great ones. It cannot be that hard for us to pause briefly and stock up on some of the little luxuries that make our food bearable. I sigh, wary of the conversation already. I wonder which one of us will break first. Yes, our provisions are perhaps a bit below where I'd like them to be. We're good, actually. But there's little cause for such alarm. So we can look for some provisions, we could pay for some provisions, or we could be quite stern on provisions, which would generally reduce the provisions used for 10 years. That's actually not a bad thing, because we'll be still traveling quite around for a bit for the next 10 years. So nope, it's not in the budget. So let's deal with it. Right, the Trailing Musicians domicile building has been completed. That means we have another camp upgrade to do. So let's see. That was, I think, no, that was in private tents. Was it in the campfire? Yes. So that gives us the Master Bard officer, so we can actually get somebody employed there, and increases our knight effectives per diplomacy skill. So we have a look at the knight effectiveness. Yep, 19% from the Trailing Musicians. So that's pretty good. And we now have the Master Bard position open. Let's see. Cicek actually is surprisingly good at this. So yeah, let's get that going. And how's Volkart? How's Volkart doing? He's growing up. He's growing up to be a handsome young lad, the first child in our little group. All right, we can conclude the contract with the Duchess Cornell, who we have worked with before, and we're going on to seize the moment. Yes, we have definitely worked with her before. We're going to seize the moment, have the building raised, and it has been a rousing success. We have gained some provisions. We've gained 450 prestige, which is my primary reason for doing this. So we're almost getting close to the Exalted Among Men path, and then we will be heading back with our pockets significantly heavier, and we can have a look, another look, and see if we can find anybody who would be willing to fight alongside us. But then we will be making our way westwards again. Count Hermann of Dannenberg has asked for instruction of knights, so I think that's something we can probably do. Let's move the whole camp over. There's nobody really interesting, and then we can make our way along the coastline or along the seas towards northern France. Although there is yet another rumor of a plague in France. It's what is it this time? Oh, it's the consumption. Yeah, absolutely not deadly, no problem at all. So once again, we have to be careful. Many plagues in the lands of France, and England is ever encroaching further into our homelands. But we will see. For now, we'll move our camp to Dannenberg, and from there on, we'll move further. So let's get the knight instruction done, make a little bit more coin, and build up some more prestige. And then in the winter of 78, we'll make our way back towards the homelands. Let me see those men then. It's only the mayor of Gifhorn who is in need of some training. Let's see what we can do. 72% or 74%. All right, follow me. He can't keep up, unfortunately, so that has not worked out. But such is life sometimes. If he can't keep up with me, then he might not want to call himself a knight. All right, we will travel to for now northern France and observe the situation with the local plagues here. Let us head towards Brugge, or that's a city holding actually. More interested in castles. Castle of Ypres, yeah, we'll head there. But the road looks reasonably safe, so we may actually avoid the troubles of traveling. I think what would take along, however, is make a quick stop at Humsborough, and then take the route from there. So that is slightly dangerous, but only very slightly. So I do want to pick up the martial lifestyle experience there. So let's go. All right, Camp is traveling north in the winter. A quick detour, and then we will be heading back towards France. And actually, I forgot to build a camp upgrade. We at some point are going to, if we are, and Bernard is starting to think about it, as he nears his 30th year, he is starting to think about what it means, what justice means, and also obviously starting to come around again to the question of would he want to have children of his own at some point? So that'll have to come up at some stage. But given that we're heading towards more plague-ridden lands, I think we're going to upgrade the Barber's tent for now, and then we might at some point we might start bringing up some things. Meanwhile, Unigild and Constanza, who is married to Farah, so please no more adultery in here, are getting along very well. Well, it's good for them. Unigild obviously being comforting Jeanne after how things have gone. So good for them, absolutely. I do encourage friendship within the camp, and I think we do have a pretty good steadfast camp going on here. So things are going well as we travel through the northern lands in the winter without any further incident really, and we make our way towards Brugge, and finally, we are back in the Kingdom of France, albeit in the slightly odd northern parts of it. We're here in the castle with Radomir, and if anybody can manage to get me to the final stage of my journey in the Blade Master, it's him. Unfortunately, he only gets injured, but he did become my friend from sparring. Anybody who is capable and who fits, no, absolutely not. And I will see if there's anything in the... let's see if there's anyone for recruitment who might be interesting. Simon, no, not another villain. And definitely not an evil craven. No, not. Very much not. All right, done here. And we have a few opportunities. There is... Duke Baudouin is putting out a contract to protect his heritage, but it does not, that would be 450 prestige again. That might be 150 coin, 450 prestige. That might get us relatively close, so that would be interesting. Or we could see where the Duchess Will Trudis wants us to go. The escort contract would have taken us way too far east, so instead a group of Dutch enter my camp, wishing to speak with me. Greetings, adventurer, starts the eldest of the bunch. We come from Brugge, a nearby land where Duke Baudouin of Flanders' rule is just in accordance with noble Dutch traditions. A few shy cheers of Duke Baudouin's name distract the elder before he continues. However, his liege, King Philip of France, is a foreigner and ill accustomed to our ways. In the name of Duke Baudouin, we plead aid us in guaranteeing our cultural freedom under the king's reign. I believe the king to be, or Bernard believes the king to be a just man, despite the fact that he is most definitely a murderer and a familial kinslayer. So, and I believe his wife is still suffering. The queen is still suffering from the pox. So let us see if we can reason with the king. I'm sure a man of my standing will have an opportunity to, put a good word in and see that justice in the kingdom is being held, especially in the fact that there's plagues and invasions of the English going on. So let's see if we can reason with the French. I reach a quorum with my compatriots. We, the Lion de Beauvais, are best suited to aid the Dutch by engaging in open dialogue. Duke Baudouin begins arranging a series of hearings. In this process, my oratory skills will be put to the test. Negotiating well with King Philip's representatives may just earn my employer their privileges. All right, we can. So right now, our success chance is not particularly great. We can use best efforts, which is giving us a 20% base chance but reduces the speed. Or we can go with alacrity, which reduces the success chance but improves the speed. Or we can just get on with it. What do we have for a base? We've got 40% before and we've got the speed. I think we'll just get on with the task and see what that will look like. So we are going to need a diplomat, and Enguerrand obviously is the man to bring. We shall need a shill. Zizek would be good for that. Thibault would be excellent as a scribe. And Jeanne can pick up the socialite without too much trouble. And I believe that Tarkulf then will be picking up the herald. But we're definitely going to get the people involved here and see what that looks like. All right. Now this is going to slow us down significantly. I might have to shuffle some rolls around here. Let's see what that looks like speed-wise. 50 days and 33 days. So yeah, that's going to take a long. So socialite and herald are the ones speeding it up. So we may have to let's clear that again. We may have to prioritize these then, because we have enough on the success chance. So instead, we could send Zizek as a herald and Enguerrand as the socialite, which is going to speed things up. And then Thibault as scribe and Thierry as shill and Tarkulf as a diplomat. That gets us reasonably faster to our goal. So I think that's the better option. So let's go and see if we can reason with the king. Alas, Thibault has fallen ill. My old friend, my second, my confidant. He is not well. He is ailing, and he is getting on in life. So we'll see if Sophie can do anything for him. But otherwise, this may be soon the last time that he has aided me in our endeavors, and we will see how that develops, his ailment. For now, we are making our ways across. It's not uncommon to hear rumors swirling around this, or indeed any camp. Salacious notions and whispers of scandals can pass many a long evening. After all, sometimes they're even true. Okay. Not sure what the game wants to do here, but we will. Apparently, it's something about Daria. Is she trying to seduce somebody again? We'll leave well enough alone, and she will have to lay in the bed she makes for herself, literally. Months have passed, but we now have the confidence that we gain. The confidence that we will have managed to convince the king of the nobility of our deed and the necessity of being a just ruler. So we shall execute with confidence, and into the very hall of King Philip of France I argue the cause of Duke Baudouin. With good tidings to report, with cheering still echoing in my ears, I return to my employer. A minor thing, easily amended, he calls it. He grins. How you've championed the minor thing of my people's freedom. Our protections shall soon be officially pronounced, and I could scarce be more pleased. So the steward of the king is indebted to us. He is a gallant person, and as such, somebody we do look up to. And the people of Brugge can rejoice. And with that, we are ever closer to the level of fame that we are seeking. Now, will Thibaut, who has not recovered from his illness, will he ever recover, and will he still see us to become the knight that we aspire to be? That is a question for the next episode.